On today's episode, answering the most common question for freelancers: how do I find those high-paying clients? Hey everybody, welcome to another segment of Business Time where I share some of my knowledge and learnings as a freelancer for the past few years. And in today's episode, as I said previously, we're going to answer the super common question of how to find those high-paying clients who actually value what you're doing and want to spend money with you. Now, to get started on that, I think we need to rephrase the question, because I don't think the question is how to find those clients, but rather how to convince those clients or make them pay notice of you and actually choose to work with you. Because I don't think it's really a problem to find high-paying clients. If you look at any industry, no matter what industry you're in, there's always kind of the top notch of people at the top of that industry, people who are making a lot of money, who has successful businesses. And usually those people want to work with other top performers in their industry or work with the top vendors. So if you'll take, I work in tech startups. So obviously there's a lot of tech startups who want to position themselves as top companies, and they know they need to invest in good design, good branding, and so forth. If you look at the restaurants industry, if you look at hotels industry, in every industry, there are people at the bottom who don't care about, for example, in my specific case, don't care about design, and so they're only trying to cut costs. But the people at the top, the people who also charge high prices for their services, they actually want to invest in high prices because they believe that this is how top performers act. So they understand that this is how they run their business, and they want to work with other people who will help them stay at the top, and they understand that they need to work with other top people. They actually want to spend a lot of money. In fact, for those type of people, if you don't charge enough, that probably means that you're not good enough. And so they actually help use high prices in order to, validate that this is probably a top supplier to work with. So now that you know that you can actually, in any industry, just look at the top and see who are the people who actually value what you're doing and actually have the budget to pay for what you're doing. The main question is, the actual difficult question is how to make them pay attention to who you are and make you want to work with you, make them want to work with you. Now, the answer to this, I feel like, if you want to be brutally honest, it's not an easy answer. The reason to that is because people in general, no matter where they are, want to hire and work with people who they think are similar to them. So the result of this is that highly successful people want to hire other highly successful people to work with them. If they're charging a lot of money, they're going to look for other people who are charging a lot of money. But charging a lot of money is not the only signal. They probably want to find people who look like them, who dress up like them, who have office in a similar environment or space or quality. And so they would use all of these metrics to kind of validate, is this person the right fit for me? Before they even meet you, before they even take the call with you, they can see either it's from your website, or from just meeting you and seeing how you dress, or seeing on what neighborhood your office is located. They can already make kind of basic assumptions as to, are you the right person for them? Specifically for top clients, they're thinking, are you a top supplier as well? And there's actually no real quick way to fake this, right? There's this saying fake it till you make it, right? And you can dress properly, with a nice, clothes. Even if you're working from home, that doesn't mean anything. But you can't really fake the social circle that you're in. And that's usually how you find and gain trust of these people, is you become part of their social network. So how do you sneak into that? That kind of sounds like catch-22, right? If I'm not already at the top, I can't find my way into the top. And probably there's no easy answer to that. I can tell you how it worked out for me. So when I'm already doing freelance work for probably 17 or 18 years. I started when I was back in high school. And at the beginning, I started doing work for, family and friends. And those were not high paying clients. Those were people who were, just like you can imagine, the worst clients who would tell you, make my logo bigger, who don't want to pay you, who don't want to do anything, right? But I was fortunate enough to work with some people who along the journey, as I grew as a designer and improved my skill, they also grew as business owners, and some of them actually turned out to create successful businesses. So as their business grew, as they kind of raised slowly to the top, in a sense, you can say that they've pulled me with them, because as their business became more successful, they kept hiring me. And now they had, I would say, fancier friends, and they would recommend me to their fancier friends. And because the recommendation came from a peer, somebody who looks like them, the recommendation was trusted. And so I got invited by other successful people. So I would say that the way to kind of sneak into the industry is find a connection. And sometimes you can make a connection to somebody who's already at the top, but sometimes you kind of go to the top along with somebody else who's on the journey. I don't think there is, I actually read an article kind of about how to hack into those high level social circles and stuff, but I personally don't think like that really faking it and like saying that you're somebody who you're not really who you are is an effective way to create, trustworthy, open, like transparent relationships. And so I would say that you'd have to find a way to hack into it, either by creating relationship with people as they grow, or find a way to bring value to somebody who's already at the top. And you can be creative around thinking about how to do this. But the main point of this is you need to become part of that social circle of the people who are at the top. If this is the type of people that you want to work with, the people at the top, you need to be part of that social circle, no matter where you are. I mean, the country, I would think, is not relevant at this point. I know that a lot of people are watching, they may be from India or from Brazil, and they would say, hey, here where I live, it's not really relevant. But even in Brazil, even in India, there are high top-notch circles of people willing to pay a lot of money for quality service. It's just that you need to be in there and find a way to get into this social circle. And I have to admit, this is much easier at big cities or where those people actually live, rather than if you live at some remote village and you don't have literally physical access to where these people hang out. It's probably going to be much more difficult. But I don't think and this is the brutal truth in my opinion, there's no hack from sitting at home in your underwear and having some, rich, fancy top client reach out to you, or you reach out to them without any context and convince them to spend a lot of money with you, without any kind of context to who you are or to how you are similar to them or part of their social kind of circle. And social circle doesn't mean that you know each other, but it's kind of like people like me do things like that. So they would be thinking, is he somebody like me that I would want to hire? And if they don't think that you are somebody like them, it's probably not going to happen. Hope this was helpful, even if it was a little bit brutal in honesty, in my opinion. But hope it was helpful, and I'll catch you on the next one.